All right, folks, it is August 26, 2025, and we are back. XRP back above $3, and the XRP bull run continues. I'm going to show you on the chart. It is an official bull run, at least if we're using the traditional finance, traditional market standards of a 20% move. I'm going to show you on the chart. It is a technical bull run. Obviously, this crypto market moves and is much more volatile. And up at these levels, big swings for XRP from 282 yesterday back above $3 and what, 6 cents, 7 cents. That thing moved dramatically over the past couple months here. And we're going to continue to see big volatility coming in on XRP, in my opinion. A lot of that to the upside. And I still think that many people are underestimating that move. So we're going to break it down here tonight in another live show. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. As a reminder, all of our community resources are available at ZachRector.com. And I really sincerely appreciate all your support because we could not keep the lights on. We could not keep the show rolling without your support. We are completely funded by this community. And like I said, it's an absolute pleasure to bring you guys important, critical community resources, the current events and news that matters most, and to help as many people as possible take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. I appreciate everybody for stopping by, and let's get right on into the update. We got a great meme to get the party started here from Nate Garassi, Taylor Swift, the Swifties in the chat. Do we have any Swifties in the chat? I know we have an audience worldwide. Let us know where you're tuning in from and let us know if you're a Swiftie. What's her boyfriend's name? Now fiance with the proposal. There you go. Big news today. Oh, man. Travis Kelce, I guess is his name. Taylor Swiftie. Little Swifty Swift deal here. And Nate Garassi, great meme. Trump SEC leaning into crypto. A little proposal, a little crypto deal. A little Crow deal, right? Crow taking off here today. And then also we have another investment into Polymarket, I think, as well from the Trump family. And the Trump family has definitely opened up Pandora's box. We absolutely love to see it as far as our administration leaning into cryptocurrency technology. I have actually been critical of President Trump and the Trump name and brand being aligned with some actors in the space that I just wasn't sure about. Now, we'll continue to watch it. You know, completely unbiased and just maintaining an allegiance to the truth. That's where we align ourselves. And what we have here, and this is why we remain so bullish, is because, yeah, you got a little price action. Is the coin up? Is it down? You have this administration coming out and reporting that they're going to be putting the U.S. Department of Commerce to begin issuing economic data on the blockchain. Howard Lutnick here with the update. Take a quick listen.
Two more things. The Department of Commerce is going to start issuing its statistics on the blockchain because you are the crypto president, and we are going to put out GDP on the blockchain so people can use the blockchain for data distribution, and then we're going to make that available to the entire government so all of you can do it. We're just ironing out all the details so we can do it. Two more things.
Love to see it. Love to see it. And, you know, this is what the shift that's underway here. The headwinds have shifted to tailwinds. That's the direct quote from Brad Garlinghouse. And we've been talking about the SEC lawsuit. Don't have to talk about that anymore. The attacks against this space. We don't have to talk about that at all anymore. It's just all gone. And now, to the extent at which we agree or disagree with what Trump and the deals that they're doing, they're making the moves. And this is the whole point that I've been trying to make the entire time, is understand what they're doing, understand where they're aligned, and position yourself accordingly. Whether you like it, don't like it, I mean, whether you like me or don't like me, we just ask you to at least leave us a comment. You smack it or tap it, whether you want to do a thumbs up or a thumbs down. We just ask you to stop by and say hi. You know, but the president and this administration leaning into cryptocurrency technology, and yet you still have folks wondering, is it a good idea to allocate 5% of my portfolio to crypto? Should I maybe consider allocating 10, 20%? No, that's probably too much. You know, my investment advisor said, you know, it's a little risky out here. Until the suits are ready to sell it to you, and then you see the real unlock, and then you see it the suits are going to be shilling it harder than anybody you've ever seen shilling cryptocurrency. And that's where we're at right now. They've been able to shill Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. Next, they're going to be shilling Solana and XRP ETFs. And here's the problem for Bitcoin right now is that we're seeing on-chain activity. This is not speculation, not clickbait, not FUD. We're just giving you the news straight to you and sounding the alarm bells on Bitcoin right here. You have 9 whale addresses just bought 450 million of Ethereum. The rotation is underway, folks. 9 addresses, 450 million US dollars of Ethereum. Bitcoin OG selling 1,000 Bitcoin and opening a 5x long on Ethereum for $433 million. That's just one Bitcoin whale. Another data point, Bitcoin long-term holders have realized more profit this cycle than in any cycle since 2016-17. Analysts say the sell-side pressure signals a late market phase. The party is coming to an end for Bitcoin. It is an XRP alt season. The XRP bull run is in fact continuing, as I titled tonight's episode. And I'm going to show you, even from the traditional financial market standards, we are in a technical bull run. I'm going to show you that here in just 1 second. But like I said, the suits are going to be selling Solana ETFs. And another box that Solana checks off is on the treasury companies. Now, I put out a couple of videos here recently saying, hey, what am I looking at? What are going to be the best performers? And what assets have the potential even for a super cycle, right? XRP and Solana, 2 assets that haven't had ETFs available. That really, we've had a few companies come forward here now and want to launch crypto treasury companies backed by Solana, but this party's just getting started. Right as the party's ending for Bitcoin, and as I think the last gasp of air for Ethereum and the last bit of liquidity coming into Ethereum for the Ethereum bag holders is taking place as we speak. So you might want to consider that if you've been holding a bag of Ethereum. Get in front, right? What do I always try to do? I'm trying to front run. I'm trying to front run the institutions. That's why we've been stacking as much as possible since 2018. And I'm trying to front run the ETFs right now. I'm trying to front run the crypto treasury companies, and I'm trying to front run institutional adoption. That's what we're doing. Solana treasuries are going to be monstrous. It only takes one epic corner of the race, or for the race to change leads. This is co-founder Raj Gokal of Solana. He's not just talking about it. Pantera Capital plans to raise up to $1.25 billion to convert a public company into a Solana investment firm. The crypto fund will acquire a NASDAQ-listed company and rename it Solana Co. and use the cash to accumulate Solana. Now, definitely not an endorsement from me. You guys know how I feel about Solana, VC pump coin, an ecosystem that was active with retail activity, meme coin trading, a little bit of DeFi. But I question how much institutional adoption are they actually going to get? That's the big box that I don't know if we can check off for Solana. Now, the VCs invested in it, and the VCs have a lot of token unlocks down the pipeline for them. But are you going to see broader and continued institutional adoption after the VCs get their liquidity? Are they going to take the money and run? Or are they actually going to create crypto treasury companies, use Solana and the network for institutional utility at scale? Or are they going to take the money and run? That's the big question on Solana for me. And I don't consider it worth the risk right now to have any exposure to Solana. That's just where I'm positioned. But Solana does, and I want to give credit here, Solana does check off the boxes for ETFs going live, and really Solana being suppressed. Let's call a spade a spade. XRP's been suppressed, and so has Solana, by no ETFs being present for it. We get to check off that box in October for both XRP and Solana. Crypto treasury companies check off that box. The one that I'm not sure yet is on the long-term institutional adoption and utility of the Solana network. We'll see. We'll see. That's the big one to watch. Now, before we get into the XRP news, I want to let everybody know a quick update on our merch. We had a tremendous and very successful giveaway. And unfortunately, you guys bought a lot of merch, and we gave away a lot of hats, and so many hats that we actually ran out of supply on the black XRP hats, and we just got our supply back in here today. Orders are going out as we speak. I just got an update from the team. And so I want to apologize. Our supplier of our patches was delayed by over a week. So we were over a week late on getting re-upped on our supply for the XRP black hats. hot sellers, and we gave away a lot of hats as well too. And so we just got our supply back in. I just wanted to make everybody aware. We're talking about the black XRP hat right here on zachrector.com/shop. Those are now refilled, got a fresh supply, and we just ordered a bunch of the white ones too. So those will be listed on the website here shortly. But if you guys have any inquiries about the merch, just hit us up, merch@zachrector.com, and we'll be responding to you guys tomorrow. And all of the orders that we were behind on should be shipped out here in the next 24 hours. Okay? Into the XRP news, guys, check it out. Nate Garassi, we've been keeping the updates coming from him. ETF expert, co-founder of the ETF Institute, a podcast host of the ETF Prime podcast. Any questions? You know, these guys are trying to figure out XRP. What's going on with this thing, right? Well, they're finding out quickly. XRP currently the third largest crypto asset by market cap, approximately $180 billion, larger than BlackRock by market cap. And this is interesting because it seems like it's the most hated and disparaged crypto asset. Help me understand this. Well, as our dog tags and our merch says, XRP is the better Bitcoin. It's always been the biggest threat to Bitcoin. And alongside that, it's been the biggest threat to the incumbents in the financial system. Now, thankfully for the incumbents, Ripple actually, gave them a favor, extended out an olive branch and extended out a hand, and it has literally been trying to hold the hand of these traditional institutions as they look to embrace and try out blockchain technology. And so why is XRP the most hated? Well, because this asset is going to actually achieve what Bitcoin set out to do. It's going to be doing it in a much more efficient way. It is going to be one of the top ledgers for the Internet of Value. And I think that the liquidity that will flow over this network is going to be in the trillions on a daily basis once this is all said and done. And so the margin between where we're at right now with such limited activity on chain to trillions moving across this chain on a daily basis is one heck of a margin. And so you have a lot of room for error in that move. A lot of folks choose not to watch the daily price action and just continue to accumulate. That's a great spot to be, honestly. Now, we continue. This is the power of the XRP army. I got data point after data point for you guys. Gemini surpasses Coinbase on the US iOS App Store following the launch of its XRP MasterCard. Gemini now ranks 16th while Coinbase ranks 20th, surpassing Chase and Jamie Dimon as well. Olivia Santorelli, she's the head of marketing at Gemini. No annual fee, no subscription fee, no membership fee, no monthly exchange balance required. Literally just spend and stack XRP, retweeting our good friend Brad Garlinghouse. Any XRP rewards credit card out in the world. And what a time to be alive for the XRP family. This is the special edition Gemini card for everyday purchases, and you can earn up to 4% XRP back. Absolutely love to see it. I have it linked up in the description of this video if you guys want to check it out. And by the way, quick notice, when you guys log in there, you'll see the Bitcoin card. Once you actually apply and get through a couple steps, you'll actually be able to select the XRP card. I know some people got scared away because they click on the link and then it shows the Bitcoin orange card. And it was like, no, I don't want Bitcoin. And they back out. No, you actually apply for the card, and then after a few steps and you get approved, then you get to select the XRP edition as well. And, important point, though, that the head of marketing, Olivia, makes here is that you don't have to stack XRP or really use Gemini other than to just set up a basic account, and then you can just start spending your fiat like you normally would and earning your XRP back. I've never used Gemini before. I'm interested to try it out. And we'll see how well the platform works for the credit card, and then eventually I'll probably try it out for just some regular trading and investing and accumulating some other bags as well too. But Gemini expanding into Europe, I noticed that there was a headline that went out today on that mark as well. But once again, the point being, you're seeing the power of the XRP army. The XRP army just took the Gemini app from wherever they were at, ranked on the App Store, to now surpassing Coinbase. This is not a game. And this is the competition that I've been warning about for quite some time. I knew, and you guys know it too, how powerful the XRP family is. There's a reason why they call us the XRP Army. We started to call ourselves the XRP family after we got out of the lawsuit and things calmed down a little bit. And we said, okay, now we can be the XRP family. Now we can have a good time, cheers, hey, XRP family. We can put down our shields, put down our swords. We're no longer at war with the SEC, but we've still been at war with a lot of other people, Bitcoin maxis, etc. But we don't need to talk about that. It's okay. We're trying to be nice and get along with everybody, but one thing's continuing to show up, and that's the amount of money, power, and influence behind the XRP community. Remember, not only did Ripple have one of the most successful and influential campaign funding, basically experiences. That's not the right word, but they were one of the most successful, folks funding these PACs that led to one of the most successful elections for crypto ever. In fact, it was the most successful election for electing crypto representatives ever. And Ripple was the largest funder of these PACs. That extends to the XRP family showing up on Gemini to take advantage of this credit card. Now, obviously, I'm not encouraging anybody to go into debt. My plan is to use this credit card for, 4% back on gas. There's a few other, 3%, 2%, 1% on everything else. Just using it on some regular purchases that I'd be making anyways, earn XRP back, and then just pay it off every month, boost that credit score. That's the credit game. And that's I could do a whole nother seminar on that one, a whole nother live show on that one. But I'll just simply say, be careful. If you're bad, don't get yourself into trouble, be responsible. That the regular disclaimers with credit cards and all that. But why not take advantage? And this is the competition, everybody coming to service the XRP community. This is what we're doing, breaking records at the CME group. Another data point for you guys. 30 billion in notional open interest for the first time ever between Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP contracts at the CME. Our Solana and XRP futures, along with Ethereum options, crossed 1 billion in open interest, with XRP being the fastest ever contract to do so, hitting the mark in just over 3 months. This is a huge sign of market maturity with new capital entering the market. We are ready to go for the ETFs. And as I've been saying, right, if the Gemini credit card was this popular, if the CME open interest in XRP setting records over there at the CME, what do you think is going to happen when these spot XRP ETFs go live? They are definitely going to outperform the Solana spot ETFs. Definitely going to outperform the Ethereum ETFs. And that's what people are underestimating. That's what people don't understand, is that when you're talking about, 10 billion going into the BlackRock XRP ETF very quickly, just those inflows alone. And I know that BlackRock doesn't have a filing on the books. We're letting you know what's coming, right? You got to make your bets. It's funny. People tell me don't make price predictions. Don't talk about targets. Well, what are we here to do? Read off a teleprompter like CNBC? I'm here to make money. And so I'm going to tell you the moves that I'm making. If you don't like it, that's fine. You can smack the thumbs down and tell me in the comment section how much you don't like it and how much you think I suck and how wrong I am. I'm still waiting for that to be reflected on the P&L sheet because the portfolio keeps growing. So I'm trying to figure out how we are so wrong, yet the portfolio keeps on growing. Yet we are not getting liquidated like so many are in this crypto space right now. And what we've been warning about is the demand that's going to come in when you look at this multiplier. It's just simple data, historical data that we can now track and combine with just simple conservative math. And these assumptions take us to much higher prices, even if we achieve half of what Bitcoin ETFs did, even if we achieve a quarter of what the Bitcoin ETFs did. And I think that we're going to give the Bitcoin ETFs a real run for their money, literally. On top of all of this, right? Another data point that people are choosing the XRP ledger. This firm out of China, LinkLogis, and XRP Ledger announced strategic partnership to advance the global digital supply chain finance applications out of Shenzhen, China. That's right, folks. They are choosing the XRP Ledger. And as Saul says right here, as far as he can tell, there is no Ripple involvement in this LinkLogis initiative on the XRP Ledger. LinkLogis is a publicly traded company in China and it worked with the Bank for International Settlements on something called Project Dynamo in 2023. How about that one? Bank for International Settlements, a little project called Dynamo. And this is a Link Logis firm that apparently claims that they're partnering up with the XRP Ledger, which that statement alone is hilarious, right? Because the XRP Ledger is not its entity, right? It's this protocol, it's this network. I guess you could call it a living, breathing network, but this is not a partnership with Ripple. And the reason why this is important is because it showcases that people are not just partnering up with Ripple, but they're choosing the XRP Ledger to develop and bring real world assets. And this is a supply chain utility. What they're going to be using the XRP Ledger for is supply chain. Now, interesting enough, our Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, just said that we're going to be putting our GDP and economic data on the blockchain. Maybe XRP could be thrown in the mix. Many people didn't think that XRP Ledger would ever be used for supply chain. Here's a firm that's going to use it for supply chain. The beautiful part about it being open and permissionless. Did this firm have to go to Ripple to get permission? Absolutely not. You want another example here of somebody who's choosing the XRP Ledger in a massive way? This has been really fascinating to watch, folks. When I first met Jake Claver a few years ago, they had some private equity deals, and a few million under management, and they have just exploded over there. Exploded over at Digital Wealth Partners with now 200 million in managed XRP funds. They have now become a hedge fund with over $200 million in XRP. And the reason why I say this is so fascinating, you're seeing crypto treasury companies come about. The ETFs are on the way. This is a hedge fund now that's going to generate returns for folks on their XRP. What's so fascinating to me about this firm rapidly crossing over 200 million. And last I spoke with Jake, I think he said 700 million total assets under management at the firm, but over 200 million in the XRP fund. But consider this is with XRP only at $3, right? XRP goes to $6, $9. These guys are going to have over $500 million just in XRP, just, off XRP going up to $7-8, let alone double-digit XRP down the road. See, these firms that are leaning into XRP now, before we print another few multiples, this gets very interesting. Take a listen in on this. Ray Fuentes, Jake Claver. Listen closely.
We have a hedge fund that we manage that has a little over $200 million worth of XRP currently being put to work today in a couple different strategies where we're able to pay cash dividends to people on a quarterly basis. Our number one rule at Digital Wealth Partners is don't lose XRP. The second rule is refer to rule number one. The end goal here is to, I don't want to say become another BlackRock, but be a large, prominent financial institution where people aren't just a number.
And it all comes back. As I've been saying, all these guys are lining up. You got Digital Wealth Partners providing yield in a centralized way, right? A hedge fund. You got Flare. I put out the tweet today, though. I had to, because I'm frustrated with Flare. Goodness gracious. I said, what's the timeline on F assets? Nobody has an answer for me. Hugo doesn't answer me, and I respect it. I understand it. But I ask, when's F assets coming live? I'm interested to see it because it's probably going to be the most decentralized way to generate yield on XRP. And so you have Digital Wealth Partners, centralized, way to generate yield. You got Flare, that's a decentralized way to generate yield. Doppler Finance, they call it CDFI. It seems like a centralized way to generate yield. More Markets just confirmed that they're going to be partnering up with Firelight and Flare to help provide folks yield on their XRP held at More Markets. They're connecting and kind of tapping into what Flare's got cooking there as well too. And these guys are lining up out the door to service the XRP family. Gemini's now added to the list. Uphold, I saw they put out a tweet responding, I think, to David Schwartz in regards to the Gemini card, basically hinting, yeah, ours is coming back as well too. And I think that they've already brought that back potentially, maybe not for US yet, but Uphold's working on bringing that back. They've already brought back or introduced, I should say, direct deposit, where you can get an additional XRP back in direct deposits. All these folks are coming to service the XRP family. It's a great place to be. Really great place to be, because as XRP prints a few more multiples too, it's even more capital for us to work with and deploy. And this opportunity here on the brink of this fourth industrial revolution, living through this fourth industrial revolution, whether it be private equity, whether it be just owning these cryptocurrencies, getting involved in tokenized real world assets on chain as well too. I see nothing but an open sea of opportunity in front of me and in front of our XRP family. And I will say too, for some of these other blockchains as well, that can check off the boxes that I've mentioned. ETFs going live, people treating it like a reserve, crypto treasury companies, and real institutional adoption. If you're checking off those boxes, it's a project that I probably have invested in already, or I'm looking at getting a position in right now. Okay? Now, why are we celebrating XRP back up to $3 and saying that the XRP bull run continues? You're telling me, Zach, I'm not happy with XRP price action. I'm very frustrated. Zach, I don't like you. XRP's not going in the right direction, so I'm going to take it out on you, Zach. That's okay. I'm here to be your punching bag if you need somebody to be your punching bag. We can take the shots. My son just figured out how to do a wrestling, I don't know what the move would be called, but he figured out how to fully launch himself and jump on me. So I got that. I got my daughter. She takes some shots at me too. And so, it's okay. I'm used to getting beat up and, jumped on and tackled and scratched every day. What's a few more comments, a few more people that are upset? Not a big deal. And the reason why I joke about that is because I want to show you guys that I show up every day here showing my face, showing my conviction. I let you guys look me in the eyes and see that I back up everything that I put out. All the clickbait that I put out is backed up. I call it ethical clickbait. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of sick of the regular shenanigans that we're seeing in this space, whether it be the clickbait, the scammers, all these people that are holding back, spreading real education, real awareness, real analysis. We have an opportunity to onboard billions of users to cryptocurrency technology and make them aware of this opportunity. But we need to be responsible in doing so. And that's the effort that we're putting forward every single day. If you appreciate it, please make sure that you are liking our videos, helping us out by sharing our content out far and wide. And everything is at zachrector.com. We have community resources linked up down below for you guys to help us and support us. I want to check super chats, and then I'm going to show you the chart, and we're going to talk about the XRP bull run. And yes, we are in a technical bull run, okay? Now, Dennis, I appreciate you starting off the party here. Bob Way shows up as his and St. Thomas patents are ready to switch on and pump. Yep, it's called Temporary Consensus Subnetworks. Bob Way has the patents on basically permission domains, permission dexes. Yeah, permission dexes. Going to be massive. Absolutely. Shannon, thank you. Can you shout out Emmett? It's his 6-year liversary today. He's watching with me. Oh yeah, go XRP Shannon. Absolutely. Let's give a huge shout out to Emmett. God bless you, Emmett. God bless you and your mother Shannon and your whole family. Yeah, absolutely love it. Our Canadian brothers and sisters, we're praying for you guys for many reasons, but we absolutely need to celebrate that. That's a miracle. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. I was going to make a video the other day too. So many blessings coming our way for the XRP family. Right people, right time, right place, right time, great people. Now our community's been under attack. Not everything's perfect, but our community continues to stand back up. We've been taking shots, and we continue to get back up and keep pushing forward. And I've seen countless blessings in this community. Many more on the way too. Yep, praise God. Thank you. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you. Peter, what do you got? Zach, can you make a Richardson 112 hat, red mesh, navy blue, or blue front bill? Whoa, what's that? Navy blue or blue front and bill with white XRP, just like the black one you just said. Okay. Navy blue. Let's go navy blue with the white. Okay. Navy blue with the white. Yep. We'll cook that up. Absolutely. I think that'd be good. Yeah, I like that idea. Chosen One collecting, got my XRP MasterCard. I'm bullish. Me too. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. Take wifey out to dinner. Earn XRP back. Absolutely. Wesley Martin, thank you for the 2 spot. Will Satoshi wallets move money this bull run? They already, well, not Satoshi wallets, but early insiders in Wales. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and I mean, that's the big risk for Satoshi. At any time, he, they, them, whatever they want to identify as, they could move those. Yep, absolutely. Big threat. Big threat amongst many threats for Bitcoin right now. It's troublesome. I'm very happy, very content not having any exposure to Bitcoin right now. Although I am looking to set up for another Bitcoin short, getting ready to do that. Football sin corruption. Zach, would you be surprised if we go up and then we don't go back down, breaking the typical cycle? No, that's what I believe in. But I do still think that we'll see at least a 25 to 50% pullback from the top. Now, the reason why I titled this update, XRP reclaims $3 and the XRP, the bull run continues, is because we need to understand that just a year ago, XRP was at 60 cents. Most of our community got in under that price, right? And so by and large, our community is well into profit. This asset has been one of the best performing investments for many people in our community, myself included. And what we're watching here is XRP volatility shaking out the new folks and then shaking out the folks that have big bags of XRP and maybe, are just faced with other financial challenges right now. And so they might be being forced to sell, or they're thinking about taking a little bit of profit here at higher levels. I know even for myself in my trading bag of XRP, I have some levels that I will be, selling some XRP, but they're at the lower, or sorry, these are bags of XRP that I've accumulated from trading, not my long-term holdings. And so I know, just like many of you, you want to take a little bit of profit, maybe take out your initial investment. Some trader guys are going to sell off their entire XRP. I think that's crazy, but that's what the trader bros do. They're the trading gurus, not me. So I'll let them play their game, and that's okay. Hopefully they can get their XRP back. It's a dangerous game to play, and that's why I don't really trade my XRP. I have a trading bag, which is currently allocated in large part to XRP meme coins pretty heavily, and also in an XRP long position. Those two positions are on top of my 90% XRP portfolio. Just being fully transparent with you guys. 90% of my bag is XRP, not including XRP meme coins and not including my XRP long. Okay. So to say that I'm all in would be not true. It would be disingenuous, but I'm pretty dang close to being all in. And what I'm going to do is take just a little bit of profit off of XRP this bull run if we hit some of my targets, allocate some of that to real estate, allocate some of that to private equity, and then the third chunk will be allocating towards RLUSD, stablecoin yield, making 4 or 5% on my money while I'll wait to deploy back in. And hopefully I can amass my bag of XRP back. I'll be able to rotate some of my portfolio as well. And that's just how I'm playing it. But I have the privilege of, been stacking XRP. Or I guess the really privilege isn't the right word. Reward would be the right wording. I have the reward of stacking a big bag of XRP along the way here to where we can shave off some, take out our initial, take some profit. It's enough that we have a bag of capital to go work with and still hold the majority of my XRP. So with that context, I look at this volatility lately and I just laugh. I take advantage of it to lower my entry on my XRP long. And we're just going to enjoy this consolidation, take advantage of it while it lasts before we break out to the upside here shortly. And so I'll show you here on the XRP chart what I'm talking about. We get a 25% pullback from $3.66 all the way down here to $2.72. Right? I measured out some of this volatility for you guys just to show you why people can't handle this. A 25% move to the downside in the traditional markets is a bear market. 20% move in either direction is the technical limit term for a bull market or bear market. So from 366 back down to 272, you're down 25%. That's a technical bear market by traditional market standards. But then we pop back up 24%. Oh, smokes. Wow, we're back in a bull run. Send it. And then we drop by about 17%, back down to 278, right? And we did that on Friday, right before we popped off. That was Thursday going into Friday. Jerome Powell starts speaking, and that market starts pumping. And look at the volatility just on that day alone, right? You're talking about a basically 11.5% move just on that day alone. And what this means for our community is dramatic moves in your net worth because we have so much XRP. Well, pro tip, I don't pull out the calculator to look at my net worth on days where it goes up, on days where it goes down, right? I have my portfolio. I know how much XRP I have, and I know at which targets I'm going to maybe sell just a small amount. But the goal is to trade all of my other altcoins successfully in a way that allows me to keep as much of my XRP as possible. Because I know all these ways to generate yield on your XRP are being established right now. We're going to be able to review all these and pick and choose who do we want to park our XRP with to generate yield from and not have to sell any at all. So I'm in the process right now of conducting due diligence on every single yield provider. I'm also in the process of getting ready to step into private equity and to step into real estate, like I told you guys. That's where I'm going to be diversifying my portfolio, my net worth. I have no assets in real estate right now. I'd like to get some exposure. I have no exposure to private equity. I need to get some. And I even Ripple at their current valuation, I still think is grossly undervalued. But I'm going to be looking at Ripple and others. But what we're looking at here is big swings on XRP. Even yesterday, we had a full swing of about 9%. But we can say that we are still in an official bull run because XRP pumped up 23% and it only came back 17%. So technically speaking, for all the folks that will try to say that this is clickbait, by traditional definitions of a bull market and a bear market, technically speaking, let me push up my glasses real quick. Technically speaking, we're still in a bull run. And this is crypto. So 20%, does not define a bull run or a bear market. But I do feel very firm on my targets, and that remains. I did have to adjust them. So, people say, oh, you got it wrong. That's okay. Yeah, we did get it wrong. We still made money on the margin. You have to understand that you have to imagine being positioned to where even when your targets are missed by 9%, right? I missed my $4 target by 9%, but even missing targets, we still make money. How does that work? It's on the margin. It's on the swing. The margin between the lows that we bought it at and the highs on where it went. And even if we don't time the absolute peak and trough perfectly, that margin, that spread allows us to make our money and our cash flow on the trade. That's what we've been taking advantage of. And so I've lowered my XRP long entry back down to 306. It's still in the red right now, right? XRP sitting here at $3 as we speak. But to me, this consolidation ends here shortly. Let me zoom out on my chart and show you what happens here. We're looking for XRP to break out. And I still have my $7 target now. I've just had to extend it back here to the middle of October. Yep, I know. I had to adjust my targets. I got one wrong. I'm a bad guy. I suck. Please remember to smack the thumbs down for me. But back to the charts. Not gonna, and here's the thing. If you're afraid to step up to the plate and swing, you'll never hit it out of the park. I'm never going to relent. If you ever think I'm going to stop, we're not going anywhere. We will continue to make our trades. I will continue to explain my timelines, my targets, and my honest analysis in an effort of full transparency. If you need to smash the pie on my face and tell me I was wrong, we'll do that. We'll do that. But somebody's got to stand up here. Somebody's got to be willing to stand up and deliver real analysis without reading off a teleprompter, without having something to sell you, without shilling you Wall Street products, and somebody who will help you conduct due diligence on all these various offerings that are coming our way. And that's the effort that I make, from the basic crypto education to more complex situations, investment opportunities, and due diligence that we're conducting on other investments. Everything in between. If you don't step up to the plate and swing, you'll never hit it out of the park, though. Remember that. Now, XRP, between here and October 17th, you got ETFs going live, and you got price action to the upside. $4 to $5, that's probably easily done. $7, that's what I'm looking for. $7 to $8 top coming in. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Now, for example, if XRP did go up to $7, and then it did a Bitcoin, after the ETF goes live, it drops 30%. You'd be talking about XRP going back down to $4.92, $5, right? If it did an Ethereum, it would drop 40% after the ETFs go live. It would drop back down to $4.24. And I'd be watching for that. 30, 40% pullback after the ETFs go live. Watch that. I should leave this on my chart just so I can, make sure that we have the proof that we were warning and trying to sound the alarm about a buy the rumor, sell the news on the ETFs. And the way I think this plays out is you're going to see XRP double up between now and then, 6, 7, maybe $8 between now and October, and then pull back, buy the rumor, sell the news. Followed by that, the party begins, ETFs are live, and we'll be on our way to double-digit XRP. And what I'm very hopeful for is that we will be holding a floor price above $10 in double digits next year. For example, we run up to 20 or $30 and we still get a 50% pullback. I think that's very likely. At least a 25 to 50% pullback after our top. It would be very normal and to be expected with how many people would be in profit and how significant that profit would be. And so you talk about XRP running up 20, $30, but then coming back down 10, $15 and establishing a floor price. And the reason why I think that you can even have a legitimate conversation about a super cycle for XRP is because of the checklist that I gave you guys. ETFs going live, crypto treasury companies using XRP like a reserve, and then real institutional adoption at scale, flipping switches and really moving liquidity across the ledger. If you're in an asset that doesn't check off those boxes, I don't think that you experience a super cycle. And I think that you could see a drawdown after the top, this bull run, that is larger than 50%. Who's going to be there to establish that floor price? Are retail buyers going to show up and establish that floor price? If the institutions aren't, it's going to be on retail. And you already see where retail's at in this current cycle. We're in the middle of a bull run and it doesn't feel like it because people are stressed out, feeling the weight of everything else around us. But I want to get a current market sentiment. I want to go rapid fire Q&A. I appreciate everybody for stopping by here tonight. This market is moving quickly. I've shared my analysis. I've shared my targets. I've shared my timelines. And honestly, sometimes I wonder, why do I share all this publicly? I should just keep all this for my private group because they actually appreciate it. And obviously a lot of you guys appreciate it too, but we get so much hate and attack for just trying to share our analysis, and we're not going to stop, but I just think, man, it's interesting because if I'm getting crucified for being off by 9%, I worry about some of these projects that people are going to be bag holding through this bull run. I worry about some of the timelines that these other projects have with the lack of ETFs, with the lack of crypto treasuries that are treating it like a reserve, and with the lack of institutional adoption. At some point, retail money runs out, right? That's my concern for many of these other cryptos. Now, let's go rapid fire Q&A. Thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate your support. Let's check. We got a couple of super chats that we'll get through quickly here. Zach, become a Zebekian. That thing is cooking. Where is Zebek at? Did that thing run back up? Where is Zebeki? Did it go again? We said that it would. You know, I do think it'll do well. Yo, Zach, what XRP meme coins do you recommend? Well, I don't make any recommendations, but I'll just tell you. Farm, I got a big bag of Farm. I got a big bag of Bitcoin Maxi Tiers, Zoj, Joey, Schmeckles. I think those are the only meme coins that I have right now, other than a bunch of coins that I've, you know, either gotten wrecked on or I already took profit on and I might have a little bit in my wallet. But those are really the only main positions I can think of right now. Okay, but I obviously do not give financial advice and don't give recommendations. And if you have a problem with gambling, then you should call the hotline or something like that. You know what I'm saying? If you guys got a problem, you're too degenerate, get help. Or at least make some money before you go get some help. Kraken versus Gemini versus Coinbase. The war is on. The stablecoin war is on. The yield war is on. Who can service the XRP community the best is on. The XRP ETF race is on. BlackRock's going to show up late to the party, but I think that they're going to be the best performer. The race is on. Absolutely. Why don't you trust Robinhood for XRP? I've never trusted Robinhood since the GameStop saga when they shut off the markets there. I've never trusted them ever since. And I didn't trust them before because they wouldn't allow you to withdraw the crypto off their platform. I know you can now. So they've gotten better, but it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And so I don't use them. I use other platforms. So I have nothing against it really. It's just I have other platforms that I prefer right now. The best experience in customer service by far is Caleb and Brown. Real quick, I just want to let everybody know that, just to be very clear, very, very honest with everybody. The best customer service in this space comes from Caleb and Brown. It's just not even really close in my opinion. You cannot get a level of personalized brokerage service that is providing free institutional grade custody from anybody else. The level of service is unmatched. It's incredible. So, yeah, we absolutely love to see it. Now, what was this little super chat right here? Chat GPT 7 billion first month ETF inflows 150x multiplier. Yeah. Yeah, Canary Capital CEO says 5 billion. So I think that you could see 5 billion pretty easily. I think that you could see 10 billion in the first couple months easily. I'm interested to see if the BlackRock XRP ETF gets to 10 billion assets under management faster than the Ethereum one did. That'll be a fascinating race to watch. Artie Wolf, thank you. What percentage chance XRP hits 8, 10, 12 bucks this year? I mean, I shared my targets with you guys. I think that you have a chance at 8 bucks, but I think that we fall short of 10 bucks. At least before October. Now, after that, could you see XRP have a run up based off the ETFs and go to double digits by the end of this year? Absolutely. 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 But by October and the ETFs going live, I think that we'll fall short at 6 to 8 bucks and definitely fall short of 10 bucks. I think on our first attempt at 10 bucks, I've been very firm on this. First attempt at 10 bucks, we hit a sell wall that we can't surpass. I do believe that. Unless the institutions flip the switch, then all bets are off. And then they could send it to 589 overnight. And then the Riddlers got it right. It's over. Speaking of it being over, I still have the mandate right here. I love how the mandate came here in that big red lettering. Fits nicely in the red folder. A nice finishing chef's kiss to the red folder, honestly. It really fits nicely. Nice filing right there. Zach, discuss the private group. I'm assuming you're talking about my Discord group. Yeah, so we have a real family over there. A community of like-minded individuals that's been together for almost 5 years now. And we've had folks that have been in that group the entire time from the very beginning. And I told them on our Discord weekly call this past weekend that I really couldn't do it without their help and support, because it's not just me that's in the Discord group helping people out. It's all the community members in there as well. And they continue to give back. We have a lot of people that are very generous with their time and expertise and experience in crypto, and they're giving back to new people and helping us serve as many people as possible. So thank you. If that is you in our Discord community, shout out to you. Thank you for your support. And thank you for allowing me and helping me build out this platform to help so many people. So in the Discord group, we let it fly. That's the nice way of saying that we're not afraid to be politically incorrect. I'm not afraid to be completely open and honest with how I really feel about some of these projects, blockchains, and business opportunities. And I think that it's a valuable group in the sense that we're all in the same path, like-minded, and it allows people to connect on many different levels, not just crypto and finances and investing, but also lifelong friendships have been made in the community as well too. I'm very proud of the community. Okay. So yeah, check it out. Check it out. We would love to have you. Just sign up through Patreon to get access to Discord. And now's the time to get in. Now's the time. We've had a lot of new people joining our group, but we still are maintaining that community family feel, which I really appreciate and very proud of. Okay. For people with 10,000 bags, would you recommend to sell 5% or just hold? I don't make recommendations. Once again, I don't give financial advice. I just ask, what are you going to do with the profit, right? What are you going to do with it? Is it going to be enough to make a difference? And, we all start somewhere. It's just, you might be in a position where your bag is not big enough and XRP is not going to go high enough to really make a life-changing difference or to get you enough capital to go into the next investment. And some folks might just be better off focusing on trying to stack more. Now, obviously, if you're comfortable trading, then that's a different story. But most people are not traders. So if you're not a trader, your focus should just be on accumulation. And then, I think that, you mentioned folks with 10,000 XRP. That's a great bag of XRP. But what I'd hate to see is folks give up, their bag of XRP for some short-term money that really wouldn't even move the needle, right? I mean, when we talk about taking a little bit of profit, if you're taking 10 racks, 50,000, 100,000 off the table, what are you going to do with it? Where are you going to deploy it? And how much are you going to have after you pay taxes too? Right? If you're in the highest tax bracket, your capital gains on this, if it's short term, you're going to be paying short term capital gains and it gets added onto your earned income. And then you got long term capital gains too, potentially, depending on how much profit you're taking as well. So either way, you got to calculate your tax bill. How are you going to mitigate that? And then how much capital are you going to have and what's the move after that? I know where I want to go with my profit. I know exactly where I want to go. I've been building out a strategy and a plan for it. It's very direct. It's very strategic. It's very targeted. It's very thought out. Okay? So I would just ask, what are you going to do with that profit? Is it really going to be worth it for you? If you can answer those questions, then go ahead. Do what you're going to do. But I just want people to make sure that they have conviction in the moves that they're making. Okay? How degen should we get? Well, Zeus, that's up to you. Your risk tolerance. War Room Grundun, thank you for the 2 spot. Yeah, football. Yeah, watch out for the scammers. They're trying to get into our Discord. Sometimes they, are going to impersonate me on, basically every single day they're impersonating me on all of these platforms. So please watch out for that. I will never direct message you. I will never ask you about your trading, direct you to move crypto, ask you about wallets, ask you about Web3. You're just not going to get a message from me on any of these platforms, okay? The only place to reach me at is zachrector.com. If you join our Patreon, you can reach me there. Or if you're in the Discord group, you can verify that you're messaging me by going to the announcements channel in the Discord group, and you will see that I am the only Zach, the real Zach, that can post in the announcements channel. So that's how you confirm that you're messaging me on Discord group, is you get in there, go to the announcements, and then you can add me as a friend and make sure that you have a direct line of communication there, okay? But these scammers are working overtime. They're not going to stop anytime soon, so please stay safe. AGL, thank you. It's incredible your passion on XRP. God bless you, bro. Thank you, my friend. Julia, thank you, Zach. Did you get a chance to look at the Texit coin? Appreciate you. TXC, Julia, I have not. Let me write it down. Is it a crap coin or a good coin? Are we going to make some money on it or what? That's interesting. I'll take a look. War Room. What ZR private group can we join? Please tell. Yep, that's my Discord group. I don't really talk about it that much, but very, very strong community over there. And you get access to the Discord community by signing up through Patreon. That's what gets you access to the Discord group, okay? But yeah, love the community that we've built over there. Powerful group of people. Paul, thank you. Price prediction for HBAR and Link. Yeah, I'll be updating. I'm working through right now my whole portfolio. I actually wanted to get this out last weekend, and I'm running behind because there's been some other things that I've been looking at in my analysis that are taking me a little bit more time. But I'm going through my portfolio and looking at my exit targets on every single position that I have right now. And I'll let you know about HBAR and Link, but I've been pretty firm on HBAR. You know, I think it could easily run to $1.50, $2 this bull run. I think it could easily do something like that. And then on Link, I just think that it falls short of $100 this bull run. But I'll get you a more specific target, and that's going to be dropped for my Discord community later this week. Philip, thank you for the 5 spot. California Assembly Bill 1052. Everyone needs to read it. If it passes, it will... what's that? Is that the bill? What bill is that? What do you think of SHX Coin Stronghold token? Yeah, I'm bullish on Stronghold. Yep, I am bullish on Stronghold there. California Assembly Bill 1052. What's that one about? Somebody put a comment in the chat. Zach wants your XRP, promising 15% yield. Stay smart. Absolutely not me. Absolutely not. No, we don't do anything like that. We don't direct you to move crypto ever. We don't even recommend anything. I mean, you're not going to get a message from me. You're not going to get a DM from me. Please be safe. We don't accept crypto for anything. We don't direct anybody. And now, Shannon and all of our mods in the chat, thank you for staying on the lookout for the scammers in the chat. Thank you for, watching out. The haters are going to be coming in full force too. This is going to be the most hated XRP rally. Like, they're taking advantage of this consolidation to come in and try to FUD everybody out. Oh, XRP's done. The bull run for XRP's over. It's just not true. They know it. And you can really hear the fear in their voice, right? When I listen to the spaces, when I read all these comments too, there's a reason why XRP is the most attacked. There's a reason why XRP is the most hated. Yeah, Stronghold, I'm bullish. I sold all of my bag though, to be honest with you guys. Stronghold had a heck of a run for us. It really was a great winner. But I did take profit completely selling out. Just being fully transparent with you guys. I will be dropping a deep dive on SHX here at some point. SHX pumped 187% after I put out my pump alert on June 10th. So we warned everybody publicly, and in the Discord group, we've actually entered SHX. So we have a lot of community members, and myself included, that have been in SHX for a couple years. So SHX was just a great run. Absolutely tremendous. And, bounced perfectly off the 1618. And that yellow line here is where I'd warned our group about hitting some resistance. And sure enough, we did find some. Yeah. So I sold mine off a little bit early. I did not catch the absolute top, but I was happy to capture my profits on this one. Heck of a run. We just need to see more institutional adoption. So there's no ETFs for SHX. There's no corporate treasury companies other than Stronghold. The company is treating SHX like a reserve currency. They just locked up a bunch in escrow. So you got that going. And they have some partners, but I'd like to see more institutional adoption. And that's the third box, which is, are these cryptos actually going to be used by institutions at scale? ETFs? No. Crypto treasury companies? No, other than Stronghold. And then third, institutional adoption at scale. Will Stronghold get that? That's yet to be seen. Yet to be seen. I saw that they just made a new Twitter handle, SHX Japan, Stronghold Japan, something like that. I'm not sure what that was about. I know that they have a presence over there in Japan in the APAC region. So I'll have to get more up to date on that. But yeah, heck of a run for SHX. Have I heard anything about the Gemini XRP MasterCard expanding to other countries? Not yet. I'm sure they're working on it. I apologize. If you live in Canada, UK, or New York, your jurisdiction sucks, and I feel sorry for you. I wish I could help you, but it's going to be up to the people of those jurisdictions to change, and make some changes here. And obviously you can operate in those jurisdictions. It's just that they've made it a pain. It's a real pain. It's very expensive. And so I wish that we had more providers for Canada, UK, and New York. It's very unfortunate. Caleb and Brown doesn't service there. Gemini isn't offering the credit card outside the US right now. Zach, I like your analysis, but isn't Solana the best buy right now? No, I don't think that Solana is going to see as much in inflows into their ETFs as XRP is. I don't see that happening. Solana's losing active traders, losing millions of daily active traders. So the trenches in Solana cannibalized itself. They basically, ate themselves up, right? Cannibalized themselves over there in the Solana trenches. So when we look at the boxes, ETF check, inflows will be good. So it is going to run. Not as much as XRP in my opinion. Crypto treasury companies check. You have some that are doing that. That's great. But institutional adoption at scale, real world utility, I don't think that you're going to see Solana checking off that box in any serious or long lasting way. There might be some companies that are, cooking up a few different things, but I don't think that they're going to see institutional adoption like the XRP ledger is. Yeah, Philip, that's what I was trying to remember there. Thank you. Let me go back to the super chats here. Oh, let's go back over here. Phil added the key provision adds digital assets to the state's unclaimed property law, allowing the state to take custody of dormant assets after 3 years of inactivity. Once again, if you live in that jurisdiction of California, leave. I would never give you financial advice, but strategic relocation advice I will. Get the heck out, or at least get your business and assets out and go vacation in California like I do. But I can't say much because I live in a state that's equally as stupid and lacking common sense, and that's the great state of Washington. So, we're trying to catch up to you guys down there in California. Crow ran. Yeah. Good run for Crow today. It's up 30%, I think. Heck of a run. Yeah, it's good. Good to see. Alt season is here. Alt season is here. So get ready to take profit if you need to on all of these positions. Alt season is definitely here. Yeah, California's in big trouble. Big trouble for California. Yep. So Bitcoin only up 65% since the election, hanging in there at 111,000. Ethereum is up 91% since the election, 4,575. Okay. And XRP, this one is up. Where are we at right now? 299, about 500%. Yeah, 498%. As I continue to say, XRP is running this bull market, XLM about 331%, not bad. Where did my soul chart go? I always lose my soul chart. What the heck do I got going on here? Oh, here it is. Okay, so it ran up 90% since the election. And, okay, this is the move, yeah. So it's only up 27% since the election now. The full swing was 90%, but right now we're only up 27%. Targets on Solana remain from today's price targets right here. You pull up into these fibs, you're looking at 182% upside. So in the run up to the ETF, next wave of ETFs for October, Solana, yeah, maybe it doubles up. Yeah, maybe from these levels, it could double up. What would that be? That'd be going to, 391, $400. That's pretty close to its previous all-time high, isn't it? All-time high, 294. That's right. It fell short of $300. Yeah, so I mean that could be the top of your Solana run right there. I've been saying $400 to $600. $400 to $600 is my target for Solana. So if it goes up to $600, you're at 200%. So yeah, I think you have about 100 to 200% upside on Solana from here. Dogecoin only up 54% since the election, lagging. I got myself a bag of this crap, can't wait to get rid of it. All-time high was like 76 cents. Flare back below 2.5 cents. Still consolidating here. I'm looking at Flare here, not breaking above 12 to 13 cents. And like I said, right now I'm going through my portfolio and I'm trying to find my first exit targets. I'm trying to find my take profit levels on every single crypto that I own. First job was going through my entire portfolio and actually assembling it. And it's kind of difficult because I have so many different XRP Ledger wallets with different XRP meme coins. So just tracking down my meme coins was a job in and of itself. and then tracking down all of the different platforms that I have crypto on, all of the cold storage, that I have crypto on, and, putting all of that together. And then now I'm in the process of going through and finding my sell targets on all these assets. I have some of my first targets for XRP already laid out. I've had an XRP exit strategy developed since, August or September of last year. I've made slight adjustments and tweaks to that, but we're still on target for all of the targets that I had going back to last year. From where we're at right now, all the way up to $25 was, my final level of take profit, assuming that XRP is going to go between my $20 to $30 price targets in 2026. Couple more super chats came in. Thank you. Hailstorm Dreamer, with Chinese fintech giant Link Lodges putting its trillion-dollar supply chain finance platform on the XRP ledger, can you explain what this means and how this will increase XRP price? Well, we have to see how much they actually tokenize on the ledger, and then we have to see how much volume that's going to bring on chain to determine the impact that that's going to have on XRP. But, I mean, if they basically are the guinea pig for using the XRP ledger for a logistics utility and problem solving, that would be a great use case for other companies and institutions to consider as well too. With the EVM sidechain also now being live, it allows for you to have the smart contract interoperability with EVM smart contracts. So you have full functionality now between the EVM sidechain and the XRP ledger, where you can use the EVM sidechain for conducting your logic smart contract functions, and then settlement in XRP. And if you need to, also bridging back over to the XRP ledger as well. Let me refresh that. So yeah, we'll have to see how much they actually tokenize on chain, but it's a great acknowledgement that they're using the XRP ledger without partnering up with Ripple. L Shermanator, thank you. Thanks, Zach, for always showing up for all of us. Props. How come you work with Caleb and Brown instead of DWP? USA made institutional custody for me and only 20 basis points per trade. What do they charge per trade? Yeah, so I talk with Jake about that. You had to invest 400,000 XRP in the fund to get the 20 basis point. So yeah, I mean, shoot, that's a great deal, right? If you can get on there. So folks have always heard me explain why I keep my options open, right? And I self-direct. So Digital Wealth Partners, they're a registered investment advisor, and then they also have a hedge fund where you're letting somebody else manage your investments. Now, I don't claim to be the best. It's just I'm active in this myself. I'm in this every single day, and I have the time to manage my portfolio. And so that's the only reason really why I do what I do is I don't really rely on any other advisors. I haven't put my money with any other hedge funds. Although, like I said, I've been blown away, and I underestimated how quickly they were going to blow up from just a few million in private equity deals to a full-blown hedge fund with over 700 million in investments, assets under management, I should say, and then 200 million in XRP funds. And so I had a good conversation with Jake the other week, getting caught up to speed on everything that they're working on, and it's pretty exciting stuff. They're nowhere near being finished either. I was talking with him about what they got coming down the road, and it's going to be very interesting to watch. But yeah, I mean, you guys know I've always said keep your options open for this bull run in particular. I have XRP on Uphold, Caleb and Brown, Coinbase. I'm also using the XRP Ledger DEX, and these are all platforms where I'm keeping assets that I plan on trading, and then everything else I have just held in my long-term holdings cold storage. So that's where I'm sitting at right now. But, you know, we got to keep our options open, and we got to determine who's going to service us the best and ultimately make that decision. I mean, Coinbase is coming around. I'm not minding trading on that platform right now. I still don't trust Coinbase all the way, but, you know, they've been doing all right for me. I'm glad to see that they got perpetual futures. I pay $30 a month for the Coinbase one. So my trading fees are zero for the first 10,000 in trading. So, you know, that platform's working out all right. I've been thoroughly impressed with Caleb and Brown. You know, and if I was in a position where I needed somebody to manage my investments, you know, Digital Wealth Partners is the furthest along when it comes to that offering. Right. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to watch all of these providers, all of these exchanges, all of these brokerage firms, registered investment advisors, hedge funds, private equity fund managers. They're going to be bringing a lot of deals our way. And so that's why, you know, I appreciate the friendship with Jake and, you know, him giving me the time to allow me to get caught up to speed on everything that they're doing. Because I told him, I said, hey, you guys are moving so quickly. I got to get caught up to speed on everything that you guys have been cooking up over there. And so I continue to watch closely. And like I said, I just watched that interview that he did with Ray Fuentes. And it's been incredible to watch how quickly they've grown. Okay. Zach, what about California again? We saw there's an assembly bill where if you kept your crypto dormant for 3 years, they could potentially seize it. I don't know. I'm sure that Gavin Newsom will tell us that it's for our protection and our safety that they're going to seize our crypto after 3 years if it's been dormant. It's all for our safety. It's all for the environment. It's all for feeling good inside. Don't ask questions. Just pay your taxes. Absolutely. Good point, Scott. Don't forget to diversify investments. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Not all in on crypto. Buy silver, cryptos, and foreign currencies. Yep. I haven't got into the foreign currencies. I know many people that have. I have precious metals. I just planted some more seeds yesterday, actually out in my garden. I planted some romaine lettuce. What is it? What is it? I'm going to butcher it. What is it? Not buttercup, butter crunch lettuce. So I got 2 different types of lettuce. I did a little bit of kale and then broccoli. Kids like broccoli. So my berries are all done. I invested in another blueberry bush and another raspberry bush this year. And what I did, so I just planted some more seeds, but I also just tried transplanting some shoots from my raspberry bush. So instead of having to go back to the nursery and paying $40 for a nice, good, healthy start, trying to work on my transplanting skills right now and seeing what I can save in that effort. So hopefully I'll have a couple more raspberry bushes on the way. I got some nice shortcake raspberry bushes. They're perfect for on the patio. And those raspberries, I mean, many people don't know, but up in the Pacific Northwest where I live, we actually produce the most amount of raspberries in the world. And the kids, if any of you guys that have children, you know how they just go through the blueberries and the raspberries and the strawberries. So I got myself a nice berry patch, raspberry, blueberry, strawberry. But then getting some broccoli going for the fall, a little bit of lettuce. We'll see how it does. I throw stuff in the dirt and see what happens. It's just one of those things. I go from trade. Guys, I wouldn't have this any other way. I'm so blessed. I come up here. I'm in my office. I'm making my trades. We're talking about investments, portfolios, moving big money around. And then I go out and I'm playing in the yard with my kids, throwing seeds in the dirt and seeing what happens. That's my life. I literally go out and I touch grass, go out and play with the children, throw some seeds in the dirt, throw some XRP at a meme coin, enter an XRP long, all in a day's work. How about salmon berries, Zach? Love them, not so sweet. Yeah, the salmon berries, they grow naturally here in this area. They're not a delicacy by any means, but they do grow. Now the huckleberries, we got some huckleberries up here, and those ones are pretty good. You got to pick a lot of them because they're as small as a pea, but the huckleberries, you know, interesting. Zach, I'm a complete noob in precious metals. How do you sell those? I don't want to feel like I'm getting lowballed. Yeah, so my favorite person to work with is Miles Franklin's, Andy Sheckman's firm. If you go to my website, zachrector.com, you can get in touch with them. But what I do is I have a relationship with my local precious metals dealer, so he knows who I am. That's who I've bought a lot of my silver from. And so he knows the product that I have. And if I bring it back to if you're bringing it back to the person that you buy it from, at least they're going to know you. You're going to have that relationship, and they're going to know what product that you have and that it's legit. Andy Sheckman and Miles Franklin has been in business for over 33, probably 34 years now. One of the best dealers in precious metals in the world. And I've really appreciated their support and getting to know Andy as a friend as well, too. Their firm has some of the best prices and some of the best customer service in the space. And so it's just like with the crypto exchanges, give yourself a couple different options. You can do that in precious metals as well, too. You can have a couple different relationships, a couple different dealers, and see who's going to be the best service provider. I skipped a super chat. Okay, E. York, let me go back and find that. Okay, yes, I did. E. York, here you go. One major advantage for XRP is Ripple. If they get approved as a bank, might they evolve into the Federal Reserve of the new financial system? It's funny that you mentioned that, because if you actually go back to my very first TikTok that I did in February of 2021, I went in with the plan, and my plan was to bring the truth about XRP to TikTok. Here I am 5 years later, still trying to bring the truth about XRP to TikTok. We've made incredible strides, but we still have a long ways to go. But in that first TikTok that I did on XRP, I spoke about how XRP and Ripple, the comparison should not be to the Federal Reserve or a central bank, because they service more than one country, right? The Federal Reserve serves the United States and controls the monetary policy of this country. The central bank, the Bank of London, is going to control London, UK. With Ripple, we should compare them to the IMF or the BIS is actually the comparison that I made. And that was my very first TikTok back in 2021. I said that, we need XRP as the new world reserve currency, and Ripple should be compared to the IMF or the BIS, the central bank of central banks, because they're not just servicing one country, they're servicing the entire planet. So yeah, in my opinion, they've already been moving in that direction. The combination of having XRP as a neutral bridge reserve currency, making it as liquid as a G10 currency, and then that ledger being set up to handle tokenized real world assets at scale, including the most important one to the Federal Reserve, to the Treasury, that being the US dollar tokenized in stablecoin form in RLUSD. So the 1-2 punch for Ripple XRP becoming the new Federal Reserve is RLUSD. And for Ripple to be compared to the BIS or IMF, we would be looking at multiple stablecoin CBDCs and national currencies being issued on the XRP ledger and being able to freely be traded with deep open public pools of liquidity being established between said assets. That's what makes Ripple and XRP the new world reserve currency, incomparable to the IMF, BIS, or any central bank. But I think that you got to take it one step further than just the central bank for the reasons that I mentioned. Yeah, I think it's a perfect comparison. I think that Ripple's role with ROUSD, in fact, I just retweeted Digital Asset Investor earlier today. ROUSD surpassed to get into the top 100 cryptos on CoinMarketCap. So ROUSD is growing quickly. And that party's just getting started. I think that Scott Bessent is underestimating and staying conservative by saying that we're going to unlock 2 to 3 trillion of stablecoin demand. I think that he's staying conservative. I think that you could see double that quickly. Do I follow Moon Lambo? No. How do you tell which TikTok is real? If you go to my website, I have all of my official links there at zachrector.com. I have my official TikTok. I just hit 350,000 on TikTok. So you'll see I'll have 350,000 followers. I applied for verification. I'm still waiting to hear back from TikTok. I don't know why. It's been days and they still haven't gotten back to me. But there's no reason why I shouldn't be verified on TikTok. I should have done the process a lot sooner, I guess. But anyways, I applied to get verified on TikTok. I'm still waiting for that to come through. But check that out. Yeah. I'm the only Zach Rector that goes live on TikTok. All of the other scammers, they don't go live. Zach, do most gold and silver dealers give spot price when you sell? No. I mean, you're going to have a premium when you buy, and there's probably going to be a little bit of a premium when you sell. Yep, you're going to get hit with a little spread. But that's where, same thing with crypto exchanges. This is why you have multiple providers, right? You go to them and you say, hey, I have 100 ounces of silver to sell. What can you do for me? And you can shop that around a little bit, All right, folks, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. It's been an absolute pleasure with you guys tonight. XRP, the bull run is continuing despite what some folks want to say. It's at $2.99 right now. Oh my gosh, Zach, are you going to change the title? No. I'm going to tell you to lock in. I'm going to tell you that this sucker's going to $7 by the ETFs going live in October. I'm going to tell you that this sucker's going to double digits by 2026. And so let's prepare ourselves for that. Let's not worry about short-term price action in the meantime. Stay focused on what you can control and continue showing up every single day. There's still a lot of moves to be made and a lot of money for our community coming our way, okay? I appreciate all of you guys. Everything is at zachrector.com. If you have any inquiries about merch, hit us up, merch@zachrector.com. You can shoot us an email over there. And once again, we appreciate you guys for all of your support. We got links up down below in the description that have just been added for the Gemini card, one that's been added for Mark Kohler's law firm. If you're looking to establish entities, trusts, estate planning, get in touch with his network of accountants across the country that are all trained up in his systems and structures. You can get tapped in over there as well too. So check out those newest community resources. We're always bringing the best to you guys, making sure that you're going to be serviced and taken care of as we execute our plan to take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. I appreciate all of you guys for stopping by. We will see you tomorrow. On the way out, if you haven't already, let's hit it for us real quick. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.